Before we begin with this tutorial, please follow the directions in the included user manual to install the base mounts. After the base mounts have been installed on your pickup, you can proceed with the following instructions. Insert the driver's side upright into the driver's side base mount. Ensure that the slot at the top of the upright is facing away from the truck's cab. Repeat this step for the passenger side upright. If you are installing the optional window protector insert, please proceed with the following directions. If you are not installing the window protector insert, please skip to this timecode. Insert one spring nut into each end of the crossbar extrusion's middle slot, about 2 inches in from each end. Repeat this step for the other crossbar. Insert one of the 2 crossbar extrusions through the front uprights. Ensure that the side with no slot is facing the truck's cab as shown. Slide the bottom crossbar adjustment collars over the other crossbar on both ends. Place the bottom crossbar between the front uprights and hand tighten in place with 2 5/16 by 2 3/4 inch Allen screws. Do not use a washer under the head of the bolt. Hand thread a 5/16 by 3/4 inch hex bolt to the spring nut. Ensure you use a washer and a lock washer. The following steps are only for installation without the window protector insert. If you have a window protector insert, please skip to this timecode. Insert a spring nut into each of the 6-inch extrusions and slide them into the uprights as shown. The side with no slot should be facing the truck's cab. Hand thread a 5/16 by 1 inch hex bolt through the slot to the spring nut using a flat washer and a lock washer. Insert the rear driver and passenger side uprights into the rear base mounts as shown. Ensure the slot on the upright is facing the truck's cab. Hand thread a 5/16 by 3/4 inch hex bolt with flat and lock washers to the bottom of each upright. Slide a spring nut into the middle slot of the 2 remaining 6-inch extrusions and install to the rear uprights. Hand fasten the 6-inch extrusion pieces to the top of the uprights and hand fasten the bottom of the uprights to the front base mounts as done previously. If you are installing the optional adjustable side rails, proceed with the following directions. If you are not installing them, please skip ahead to this timecode. Pair the front and rear side rail sections. The passenger side is marked with a P and the driver's side a D. Unscrew the pre-fastened slide insert and slide the rear section into the front section. Ensure the threaded insert lines up with the slot and refasten only hand tight. Repeat this step for the other side rail pair. Place the assembled driver's side bed rail over the driver's front and rear base mounts. Hand fasten the bed rails to the base mounts using 1 1/4 inch bolts, washers, lock washers, and aluminum spacers. Repeat this step for the rear side using the shorter aluminum spacer. Now, let's begin putting together the main rack assembly. First, slide a spring nut to the far end of the top slot on one of the long extrusions. Slide another spring nut into the same slot, close to the opposite end. Insert one more spring nut in the opposite slot of the extrusion, not the middle slot. Insert the extrusion into the front assembly as shown. The side of the extrusion with no slot should be facing the same way as the branding plate. Hand fasten to the spring nut using a 5/16 inch bolt, flat washer, and lock washer. Remove the pre-fastened bolt from the internal slide of the top rail. Then insert the top rail to the top of the assembly. Note that it is important to have this spring nut here for later. Flip the assembly bottom side up and insert one more spring nut into the extrusion, followed by the rear corner assembly. Hand fasten with a hex bolt, washer, and lock washer. Measure the length between the front base mount hole to center of the rear base mount pocket. This example is 77 inches. Set the length of the assembly to your length measurement, from the center of the hole on the front saddle to the hole on the rear saddle. Firmly fasten all of the length adjustment bolts using a wrench. You will have to repeat all of these steps for the other side of the assembly. Insert a spring nut to each end of the center slot of the crossbar extrusions as shown. Repeat this step for all remaining crossbar extrusions. Note that one of them will be shorter than the rest. Insert a crossbar extrusion through each end of the width adjustment collar, exposing the spring nut through the slot. Keep the two short extrusions together. Hand fasten with a bolt, washer, and lock washer. Insert the shortest assembled crossbar into the front end pocket of one of the assemblies as shown. Repeat this step for the remaining crossbars, ensuring the side with no slot is facing up. Measure the width between your rear uprights as shown. This example is 50 inches. Set the rear of the assembly width to that measurement as shown here and fasten with a wrench. Measure the distance between your front uprights and set the width of the front of the assembly the same way. After the front and rear widths are set, secure all bolts with a wrench. Insert and cut the anti-whistle strip in all downwards facing slots of the crossbars. It is not necessary to do the front and rear slots. With the help of a friend, lift the over-the-cab rack assembly and place it on top of your uprights. You may need to loosen some bolts to fine adjust the length and width. Now you can adjust the length of the top rail to your preference. Now you can assemble and install the remaining crossbar as done with the other ones and fasten it to the last spring nuts. You can now insert spring nuts and secure the rack assembly to your uprights using hex bolts, washers, and lock washers. Firmly fasten every remaining bolt around the entire rack system. Use a mallet to cap the outer ends of the uprights. To learn more or to ask questions, visit us on our website, auto.channellock.com.